So hello dear students, in this lecture we will discuss about the topic partition and ion exchange chromatography. So basically the chromatographic methods are used for the separation of compounds, for improving the quality of the compounds. We can separate compounds from the mixer by using the chromatographic methods. And chromatographic methods are of various types like partition chromatographic method, ion exchange chromatographic method, size exclusion chromatographic method, affinity chromatographic method, and the partition chromatographic methods are of also various types. Liquid-liquid chromatographic method, liquid-solid chromatographic method, gas-solid chromatographic method, gas-liquid chromatographic methods. So actually the partition chromatography means there is actually distribution of the compounds between mobile and stationary phase. And the ion exchange chromatography, and sorry, in the partition chromatography, there is partition of the compounds between stationary and mobile phase due to their polarity, due to their difference in the polarity. And in the ion exchange chromatography, there is exchange of the ion and the separation of the compounds on the basis of the exchange of the ion. And this exchange of the ions depend upon the charge density. Charge density is which charge is present on the ions, either positive charge or negative charge. Okay, so same type of the charge can exchange the position between mobile and stationary phase, right? So this is called actually the ion exchange chromatography, where where exchange of the ions occurs between the stationary and mobile phase, right? So now we will discuss in this lecture one by one. Learning objective of this class to understand the partition chromatography is how compounds are the partitioned or you can say distributed between the stationary and mobile phase. If the mobile phase is actually if the mobile phase is more polar than the stationary phase, then more polar compounds will elute faster. More polar compounds will interact with the mobile phase strongly and will elute faster. And if the compound is non-polar or less polar, the less polar compound will interact strongly with the stationary phase. If the stationary phase is non-polar or less polar, okay. And if a compound interact with the stationary phase strongly, then it will elute from the column later. Why? Because stationary phase is actually the it is not moving. And so the compound which is interacting with the stationary phase for strongly will return with the stationary phase will not move. If it will not move forward, then how it will elute from the column? Because the stationary phase is present adjust in the column, right? To know the basics of normal and reverse phase chromatography and ion exchange chromatography also. What are the basics of ion exchange chromatography? We will discuss. Now the learning outcomes of this lecture, student would be able to apply chromatographic methods for quality improvement of the drugs, of the another category, the compounds, foods, etc. We can eliminate from the we can eliminate the unnecessary or unadvantages, the undesired compounds from the mixer or the composition which is used for the special type of the purpose, specific purpose. Okay, so we can remove the undesired component present in the composition, and we can eliminate the side effect of this particular composition. For example, if we are using this composition as drug, and if a specific component is not required for treatment of the drug, and that is present in the composition of the drug, so we can eliminate by using the chromatography method on the basis of the polarity, on the basis of the the charge density, affinity. Okay, so ion exchange chromatography is very useful technique, and this technique is we can use this technique for purification of water also, just like in the reverse osmosis process. Here we can purify the water by an exchange process. We can exchange the fluorides or the chlorides present in the water by using the alternate same charge containing ion, and we can reduce the turbidity, or we can say the hardness of the water. We can use this water for various purposes. So now a student can achieve jobs as quality analyst by getting the knowledge of chromatography methods. Once students have the knowledge about the chromatography method, then they can get the job in the various industries which focus on improvement of the quality of the compounds, because nowadays each and every industries have, or you can say the most of the industries have their R&D departments, research and development department, which works on the improvement of the quality of the product, whatever they are serving, whatever they are providing to the society, to the market, right? So if you have better knowledge, the basics, and the specific knowledge also, all round knowledge about the chromatography methods, if a student have, then you can acquire a job, you can achieve a job very easily in these type of companies. Now we are focusing on the partition chromatography. So basically, partition chromatography is based on difference in capacity factors and a distribution coefficient of the analytes between stationary and mobile phase. We have already discussed in the previous lectures about the capacity factors and distribution coefficients. Basically, the capacity factors are the, capacity factor is the just like retention factor, and the retention factor is actually the illusion time difference, or the distance between the peaks for two components. How far these peaks are distinct from each other, capacity factor would be greater, right? Means capacity factor depends directly proportional to the difference of the retention time of retained or and non-retained species. Okay. So retained species is actually the component or the compounds which is to be separated, and the non-retained species is actually mobile phase. So the difference, if we subtract the retention time of the mobile phase Tm from the Tr, retention time of the compound, and this is divided by the Tm, then retention factor would be, this would be the result at capacity factors. So now the partition chromatography can be done by liquid-liquid chromatographic methods. Actually, liquid-liquid chromatographic method, liquid-solid chromatographic method, gas-liquid chromatographic method, gas-solid chromatographic methods. All these chromatographic methods are actually placed in the category of partition chromatography, because in all these liquid-liquid, liquid-solid, gas-solid, in these chromatographic methods, there are distribution or the partition of the component between stationary and mobile phase, right? So now these chromatographic methods, especially the liquid solid chromatographic method, we are discussing here, and in the liquid solid we will discuss here HPLC method. So in this HPLC method, we can perform this method by two ways. First is by using normal phase chromatography, and second is reverse phase chromatography method. In the normal phase chromatography method, the stationary phase is more polar than the mobile phase, okay? And in the reverse phase chromatography method, the mobile phase is more polar than the stationary phase. So now, then we will discuss ion exchange chromatography. Okay. There are also the other type of the chromatography method, gel filtration, affinity chromatography, etc. Right? But in this lecture, we will discuss about the normal phase, reverse phase chromatography, and ion exchange chromatographic method. So now coming on to the topic, normal phase HPLC. Normal phase high performance liquid chromatography. So in this method, adsorption of analyte on the polar weakly acidic surface of silica gel. So basically, in HPLC method, we use liquid mobile phase and the solid stationary phase. And the solid stationary phase, if have more polarity than the liquid, the mobile phase, then here the structure of the stationary phase is given. This is actually the silica gel, and the silica gel contains silicon group. This is the silicon group, silicon plus OH. This silicon group contains OH groups, okay, at the surface. So at the surface, the analyte molecules, whenever come into the contact with the alcoholic group, then they will adsorb, they will interact. They will interact with these groups, means they will adsorb at this stationary phase and bind with the hydroxy group by maybe by hydrogen bonding, maybe by uh, electrostatic attractions, we can say. Okay. And this surface is actually the weakly acidic surface. Actually, the alcoholic group which is present on silicon. are actually the and if even if hydroxy group is present with the or attached with the carbon, then also it have acidic properties. So alcoholic group OH shows the acidic properties due to the polarity of OH bond, due to the polarity of OH group. And actually the oxygen have the high electronegativity than the proton, hydrogen. So by taking the by attracting the shared electron density between OH bond, oxygen and hydrogen, this oxygen which is high electronegative than hydrogen will attract the shared electron density towards itself and release have the tendency to release H plus ion, hydrogen in the form of H plus ion. And the compound which gives H plus ion act as acid, but not too much efficiency it has. Very less efficiency it has, so it is actually the weak acid. So selenol group is actually the weak acid, right? So the compound which have somewhat basic properties or maybe contains NH2 just like groups, then they can interact with these for the carbonyl group, aldehyde groups, ketonic groups, nitriles. They can easily interact with this hydroxy group and they can absorb at this surface. If they absorb at the surface, then there will be distribution of the analyte between the stationary phase and mobile phase. Sometimes this compound will, the analyte compound will remains with the stationary phase and for some time they will remain with the mobile phase. So when they will remain with the stationary phase, analyte molecule will stabilize means it will not move ahead, means it will retain at the fixed position. But when it moves to the mobile phase or remains with the mobile phase, then since mobile phase is moving, so it will move ahead, move forward. If it will move in the column, then at a specific time, after the specific time, particular time, these analyte will elute from the column, right? So which analyte molecule will elute first will depends upon their polarity, right? In case of non-polar solvent, so the normal phase HPLC, where the solvent is non-polar and stationary phase is more polar, then since the mobile phase is non-polar, so non-polar species will elute first, faster, with faster rate. And the polar species will interact strongly with the stationary phase, so it will elute. It will migrate with a slower rate and will elute later, right? So the which stationary phase and stationary mobile phases are used in normal phase HPLC as these. Stationary phase used is silica. It has the pH value 2 to 8, alumina pH value 2 to 12, and bonded diol and NH2. These are the actually the stationary phases can be used in normal HPLC, and the mobile phases are used are the non-polar solvents. And these non-polar solvents are actually the hexane, CaCl3, etc., chloroform, DCM, CS2Cl2, etc. And the application of normal phase HPLC is non-polar and semi-polar samples. This is used for separation of non-polar and semi-polar solvents like hexane soluble positional isomers. So those compounds which are soluble in the hexane or in the chloroform, like positional isomer, actually positional isomers can be separated by using normal phase HPLC. For example, we are taking here, these are the following examples. This is anthracene, naphthalene, and benzene. If we compare their hydrophilic character, sorry, lipophilic character. Lipophilic character means hydrophobic characters, right? Means greater tendency have to greater tendency. Lipophilic means greater tendency to interact with the non-polar solvent. So if we move from right to left, from 3 to second and second to first, then on moving from benzene to naphthalene and naphthalene to anthracene, their lipophilic characters are actually in increasing order. Means their hydrophobicity is increasing order. Their non-polarity is increasing order. Means anthracene is most non-polar and benzene is least non-polar. So the most non-polar compound will interact with the mobile phase strongly because the mobile phase used in normal phase SPLC is non-polar. So non-polar compound will strongly interact with the non-polar mobile phase. So this will interact with the strongly with the mobile phase. So it will elute fast because this is interacting with the moving phase. Moving phase. Okay. So this is first compound and the peak appeared in the chromatogram for this compound will be first peak. This is the time in minutes. So first, I mean suppose this is 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. So at 5 minutes first peak will appear. Means after 5 minutes or at the 5 minute, anthracene elute from the column and reach at the detector. And detector sense this and in the the photographic plate this chromatogram will appear. And after that, this will elute, second will elute, and then third will elute. Okay. If you talk about the benzene, toluene, and this compound that is xylene, metaxylene. So the metaxylene compound have the more hydrophobic characters. Means this is less polar than this and this is less polar than benzene. Why this is so? Because the xylene has two CH3 groups, and these CH3 groups are actually the non-polar group, right? So the xylene is less polar compound, and it will elute from the column first, then second, and then third. Just like this, if we substitute hydrogen from the benzene by the hydroxy group, then it is called phenol, and two hydroxy group if added at the meta position, then it is called as resorcinol. So the resorcinol, actually in the resorcinol, two polar groups are present, two hydroxy groups are present. While if we talk about the phenol, there is one polar group and there is no polar group. So if we move from left to right, then the polarity is increasing order. This is the most polar, this is least polar. So least polar species will elute faster from the column in case of normal phase liquid chromatography, right? So the polar solutes elute later than non-polar lipophilic ones. So this type of the questions are asked in so many type of the competitive exams, like the NET, GATE, and core lecture exams, scientific scientist, the exams for scientists, recruitment of the scientists. So in so many type of the exams, these type of questions are asked. Right? What will be the illusion order with the normal phase liquid chromatography? Now, opposite to that chromatography, this is reverse phase chromatography. So in the reverse phase chromatography, partition of an analyte molecule between mobile and stagnant phase, the stationary phase, inside the pore space plus adsorption on the surface of bonded phase. So these are actually the given structures are for stationary phases. This is the stationary phase at means the 8 carbon containing chain. This stationary phase contains, this is the simple silica gel, and on the silica gel the 8 carbon containing hydrocarbon chain is present. This is corrected. So this is called actually the dodecyl silane stationary phase. And second is actually the C18 column, C18 phase, where this hydrocarbon chain attached with this silica support contains 18 carbon, 18 carbon chain. So this is called C18 column. Now, actually these hydrocarbon chains are non-polar. These are non-polar. So in the reverse phase SPLC, the stationary phase is non-polar. If the stationary phase is non-polar, then non-polar component or the analyte will interact strongly with this non-polar and will elute later from the column. So in the reverse phase HPLC, the polar compound will interact with the mobile phase strongly, because in reverse phase HPLC, mobile phase is more polar than the stationary phase. So more polar component will interact with the mobile phase and elute first, and the less polar component will interact strongly with the stationary phase and it will elute later, right? So now the question is, which stationary phases are used? So the hydrophobic surfaces of moieties. Hydrophobic surfaces of moieties bonded on silica are used as stationary phase. And this is C18, C8, C5, phenyl, CN groups. These groups can be attached with the silica. And the mobile phase used are methanol or acetonitrile and water. These are the mobile phases, right? We can take the combination of the mobile phases, methanol and water. If we are taking the binary mixture of the mobile phases of the solvent, if we take actually the binary mobile phase, then we have to take two solvents in the mobile phase. If we are taking a ternary mixture of the solvents in the mobile phase, then we will take all three components solvents as mobile phase. And we can also take only single mobile phase in the as the single solvent as the mobile phase. Okay. So the application of this compound, 80% of all suppression done on reverse phase HPLC. 80% of all suppressions done on reverse phase HPLC. So it is very important. It is very important. Means most of the research, quality improvement of the compounds are done using the reverse phase HPLC column. Actually, reverse phase HPLC column can easily be prepared, and this is also the um, cheap, cost effective, okay, simple moieties it has, less sensitive. I mean um, it is not destroyed by the acidic or basic properties, basic medium or the nature of the analyte compounds, because this is stable. This is stable species hydrocarbon, right? And does not affected by the pH medium very high Now in the reverse phase SPLC, the illusion order of this compound. Compounds are actually the same as used in the normal phase SPLC, normal phase liquid chromatography. So since here the mobile phase is more polar, so the more polar component will elute faster. So this is the more polar. Benzene is more polar than the naphthalene, that is more polar than the anthracene. So benzene will elute faster. This will elute faster than naphthalene and then anthracene because benzene is more polar and it will strongly interact with the mobile phase or the moving phase. So this will mostly will remain in the moving or in the motion. It is in motion, so it will elute faster from the column. It will less for the poor interaction it has with the stationary phase. And this has this less polar component has more strongly interaction with the stationary phase and elutes later from the column. This is the same category. Benzene is more polar than the toluene, that is more polar than the xylene. So benzene will elute faster. If you talk about the resorcinol, phenol, and benzene, the resorcinol is more polar than the phenol and that is more polar than the benzene. So the resorcinol will elute faster from the column than the phenol and that is from the it is elute faster from the column by than the benzene, right? And this is also the same category, same erosion order these have. So in the reverse phase separations, organic molecules are separated based on their degree of hydrophobicity. There is a correlation between the lipophilicity and retention of the column. So the lipophilicity and retention of the compound in the column have the correlation. And this peak appeared in this chromatogram is for actually non-retained species. Non-retained species. What do you mean by the non-retained species? It is actually the mobile phase of the solvents, right? And here this coordinated response, I mean the intensity of the signals or the peaks. Now the next category of chromatography is ion exchange liquid chromatography. So in the ion exchange liquid chromatography, here if we see this photograph first, here actually the exchange of the ions, like charge ions. This is suppose the ion exchange bed. This is the ion exchange bed. And in this ion exchange bed, there are two types of the ions, positive and negatively charged ions. So when we inject sample ions that are of this color, then they inject in the ion exchange bed, then there is exchange of these ions like charge ions. And in the second phase, adsorption of the sample ions and displacement of the counter ions from this. So these are displaced counter ions which are already present with the ion exchange bed are actually the displaced by the sample ions. This is called the exchange of the ions from the bed. Now in the third phase, these ions are eluted. These are eluted from the column because mobile phase additive competition is there. Mobile phase additive competition is there between the counter ions and sample ions. Okay? So when sample ions have the greater affinity with mobile phase, then they will elute from the ion exchange bed and they will come these ions come into this ion exchange band, right? So the illusion order in the ion exchange chromatography, this is determined by the charge density, is charge oblique radius ratio of the hydrated ion, and in organic acids and bases, the illusion order is determined by their pK and pKb value. So actually the pK and pKb value are used for determination of and their illusion order also. Okay. Now, different type of ion exchange resins. Cation exchange resin and anion exchange resins are there. This is the cation exchange resin. Means here the exchange of the cations from the sample and counter ion exchange bed. So this is ion exchange resin. This contains SO3 minus and Na plus ions. Okay, and this is the analyte molecule. So there is exchange of this Na plus and this compound with the positively charged. This is positively charged. This ion is positively charged. So this positively charged ion is, the displaced by this positively charged compound at pH is equal to pH is equal to 2. Means in the acidic medium, right? If you talk about the at high pH value 4.5, this compound remains in the form of positive and negative. Both charge means the just like neutral. And further, this compound is actually displaced by this ion at this pH value 4.5. So there is actually the exchange of the ions in ion exchange bed at different pH values. So the cation exchange media are actually here. These are the cation exchange media. First is strongly acidic polystyrene resin. This is first. This is ion exchange resin, strongly acidic, and this is the polystyrene resin. This is the polystyrene resin, and it is actually the strongly acidic nature it has. Right? This contains negatively charged species and also the positive charge here, or we can say positively charged ion. And this is weakly acidic carboxymethyl CM cellulose, carboxymethyl, the cellulose derivative cation exchange resin. This also contains here positively charged ion, which exchange by this or from this cation exchange resin. And the weakly acidic chelating polystyrene resin is this. Chelating and polystyrene. Actually, this has the the two sides interacting side with the positively charged ion came from the analyte molecule, and this from the chelate, I mean the ring with the cation. And the next is anionic exchange media. So first is strongly basic polystyrene resin. This is the strongly basic polystyrene resin where this moiety, quaternary ammonium salt is present. Quaternary ammonium ion is present. Okay, and there is also in the interaction the negative charge in the interaction with this positive charge, and that negative charge is exchanged. Is exchanged with the sample ion. And the second is the basic weakly basic medium, weakly basic ion exchange regime, that is diethyl amino ethyl, DEAE. This contain actually the ammonium ion also, diethyl amino ethyl cellulose, DAE, right? So these are some cation exchange and anion exchange resin used for cation exchange resin is used for the exchange of the cations for the purification, and anion exchange resin is used for purification of or the exchange of the anions. So these are actually the based on the charge density on these ions, okay, which charge is present and how much charge is present. Now the multi-choice questions, question answer session. The first question is what is correct order of elution of compounds in normal phase SPLC? If we have benzene, naphthalene and anthracene, then which compound will be elute faster and which will elute later? So what will be the correct order? So the in case of normal phase SPLC, the non-polar component will elute faster. So this is the non-polar component, mostly non-polar. This is having more hydrophobic nature than this naphthalene, and this is more hydrophobic than the benzene. Okay, so this anthracene, this order is anthracene will elute faster than the naphthalene, and that is than the benzene. So the A option would be the correct option. And the second is what is correct order of elution of compounds in reverse phase SPLC. So it has the the just opposite elution order to that of the normal phase SPLC. Means benzene is since the more polar, so it will be faster than the naphthalene, and naphthalene will be faster than the anthracene. So the option B is the correct option. And the question number 3, which is not the example of non-polar solvent? Which is not the example of non-polar solvent? Hexane, chloroform, methanol, and butane. So which is non-polar? Not the non-polar. Means which is the polar solvent? Is hexane is polar solvent? Chloroform have polar solvent? Butane is polar solvent? No. The most polar solvent is actually methanol. Means methanol is not the non-polar solvent. Now the question number 4, which is correct for reverse phase SPLC? So stationary phase is less polar than mobile phase in reverse phase SPLC. Yeah, this is correct. Mobile phase is methanol or acetonitrile and water. This is correct. Polar solute dilute faster than normal polar lipophobic ones. This is also correct. So all are correct statements. Now the question number 5. Which statement is correct for normal phase SPLC? Stationary phase, silica, alumina, bonded, diol, NS2. Mobile phase, non-polar solvents, hexane, chloroform, etc. And polar solutes elute later than non-polar lipophilic ones. So all are actually the correct answer. Now the question number 6, partition chromatography is based on difference in filling the blank of the analyte using liquid, stationary and mobile phase. So partition chromatography is based on actually the capacity factor, differences in the capacity factor and distribution coefficient both. The question number 7, in normal phase SPLC, filling the blank is used as a stationary phase. So in the normal phase SPLC, non-polar, so the polar stationary phase is used. So which is the polar? Silica, alumina, octadodecyl silane, both A and B. So silica and alumina both are actually polar stationary phase. So these are since polar stationary phases, so these are used in normal phase SPLC. And now the next stage, which solvent is commonly used in normal phase SPLC? So the polar solvent is in the normal phase SPLC, actually the non-polar solvent is used. So the from these list, which is the non-polar solvent? methanol CH3OH, acetonitrile NaCN, chloroform CaCl3, and all of these. So basically, in normal phase SPLC, non-polar solvent like chloroform, DCM, hexane, butane, these are used. Okay. Now the next question in reverse phase SPLC, dot 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 is used as stationary phase. So in reverse phase SPLC, the stationary phase used is non-polar. And non-polar stationary phase is actually the octadodecile silane, not the silica and alumina. So the in the question number 9, the correct option would be the C, octadodecile silane, because it contains C18, I mean the 18 carbon containing hydrocarbon chain that is non-polar. And the next question is which solvent is commonly used in reverse phase SPLC? So the solvent which is more polar is used in reverse phase SPLC. So which is the more polar solvent? Chloroform, DCM, CH2Cl2, methanol, CH3OH, hexane, C6H6, C6H12. Sorry, hexane. This is if we are talking about the acyclic means straight chain hexane, then it is actually the C6H14, and if we are talking about the cyclic, then it will be C6H12. Okay. So the more polar solvent is actually here the methanol, and that is used. Okay. These are the reference books: Satyendra Ahuja, Landy Wilson. For better understanding or for the detailed study of these methods. Thank you. If you have any queries, any doubts, any questions, then feel free to ask to me. I'd be very happy to give an answer of your question. Thank you. Have a good day.